I have a couple of buttons that I use to trigger programmatically with alerts so that I get some annotation on my curves so that when I go back later to analyze the roast, I have some additional information on the curves. So I'll show you how to do that. First, we need to go into the events to configure Artisan to pull in the buttons and annotate the curves with it. So we go to Config, Events, and then the Config tab. We want to make sure that right here we've selected the double dash event. And then under our buttons, under the button tab within the same events menu, we can create these hidden buttons, and the type will be double dash. So anytime you use this double dash button type with this event selected, it will append the description onto your roast curve. So I'll show you what that looks like. These events along here, this BRRS for best reaction ratio start, and then caramelize, trigonylene, and then there's a third that I trigger with a higher temperature, but you won't see it on here because I didn't go high enough in temp. So once we have the button configured and the event, the double dash event selected, we can then add an alarm here that says, for example, when BT is above 185, we're going to trigger event button. I believe that was event button number 9. And then we click OK. Now if we go in here to events, I'm using Command E. It's the keyboard shortcut. Indeed, we see I got the button right. So in the event that in the alarm that I just created, I'm using the button number. So that button number 9 corresponded to this button. And then I can do the same for ET sealing at 271. And to do that, I come over here, add button, BT above 271, call event button number 10. Now what that has done is, if I go back in here, that second alarm at bean temperature above 271, it's going to call this button, which just stamps this description onto the roast curve here. It's going to stamp it onto the bean temp curve, the BT curve. So again, I've hidden these buttons so that I don't see them when I'm roasting. So when I'm roasting, this is what I see here, just these 6 buttons. I don't see those hidden buttons because I don't click them. I don't want to have to worry about that. I want Artisan to take care of that for me. So we'll go in here, we'll look at the rule again, and the rule is active from start. I should probably change these to turning point so that they don't trigger early for whatever reason. Well, it wouldn't be for whatever reason. We can look at this curve and you could see that as soon as we started the roast, we would be above 185 at the bean temp. So therefore our first button would trigger, the caramel button. We don't want that. So we start this from the turning point. Bean temp is our source, above 185 for the first button and 271. So doing that, I can then go back into my roast profile here, and I can look at it later and I can say, okay, I hit the best reaction ratio temp here, and I had a really good stretch of time where I was still within that best reaction ratio. I can see that I was caramelizing sugars kind of in this time frame. You know, it might have started a little bit before, it might have started a little bit after, depending. But looking at this, I can get a good understanding of the amount of time that I was probably doing this specific work on the bean. So I hope that helps you get started on some annotation on your roast profiles, and that will help you focus more on the roast and let Artisan annotate it automatically in the background so that you can concentrate on what you're doing but then also come back and take a look at that roast profile later, analyze it, and see what you want to tweak or what you want to keep the same. As always, leave comments and questions below and watch for more videos.